a little mark. This way I know where to start my circle. Now, not having an eraser means you got to draw very light, okay? If you make a mistake, that's okay. I'm going to make several myself. We'll go back over them, though, and darken in the things we want to keep. So, for Goofy, I'm going to draw my circle above the point. When you draw your circle, stay light, be loose, of course. But I'd say for you, go about the size of a baseball or an orange. Keep it around that size. Now, it doesn't need to look perfect, though, because Goofy's not a circle walking around, right? That's Mike Wazowski's thing. For Goofy, yeah, the circle is the starting point. Now, when we're drawing Goofy, he's going to be looking straight ahead. So I want to divide my circle top to bottom, right down the middle, and then left to right, but we want to keep it pretty low, though, because he's got very big eyes. We need more room above this line for those eyes. All right now this looks absolutely nothing like Goofy, so let's add some more features. We're going to start with his muzzle, right here underneath the circle. And on the right and left side of my center guideline, I'm going to draw two ovals, one on each side. So let's draw the one on the left. Same technique we used to find the circle, we'll find the ovals. I'll do the same thing over here. So it kind of looks like an upside down hidden Mickey on your paper. Now these three shapes will blend together eventually to create his facial structure. But we want to connect those two ovals together with another oval in the middle. This one's a lot smaller though. A lot more squished. Right between both of those shapes. Now Goofy, if you didn't know, he's a dog. There was a popular meme going around that said he was a cow, but he's not a cow, he's a dog. His original name was Dippy Dog, in fact. So his nose, his snout does stick out pretty far, right, being a dog. So I'm going to draw two little rainbows that sit right on top of the nose. This first one, though, is the widest, so it's pretty much going to cover the whole oval, right up on top. The second one is going to cut into the circle, very slightly, and it's slightly smaller than the one on the bottom. But the top snout is also very important because it also helps frame his face. So from the top snout on top of our oval, I'm going to start on the left, I'm going to connect this little rainbow, this kind of pinched rainbow. From the top of the snout down to the oval. Now for Goofy here, he's going to have very big cheeks because he's a very smiley character. In fact, I would consider him being a very kind of a happy-go-lucky kind of character, kind of like Mickey and Minnie. But his thing is comedy, he's very comedic. So on the inside though, I want to show that happy side by drawing in a smile. So inside of this cheek, we're going to add in two curves. They kind of look like two curvy letter T's. Little umbrellas. Right between the space. Now your next step is to then connect this smile all the way over to the other side, or vice versa, whatever side you start on. But that's a pretty big space. So what you can do is go right here underneath the oval, connect those two ovals together, and then instead of worrying about connecting each letter T, now you'll just pull the T right back down underneath the triangle. But you know what, even for experienced artists, drawing something to be symmetrical is very difficult, right? Because sometimes it's easy to make one jowl, one eye, whatever it is, bigger than the other. And if that happens for your Goofy, I feel like that still works, right? And just tell a story with your drawing. Maybe your Goofy got stung by a bee or something, right? That's definitely something that would happen to Goofy. Or maybe he, like, I don't know, bit his lip. He would do that too. So again, if one side's bigger than the other, just own it. You always meant to do that. Now Goofy, again, being a dog, you can add in some scruff if you like. And cats have primarily the more exaggerated, rabbits too, more exaggerated whiskers, but Goofy still has them for sure. So over each one, I think I'll do maybe 3. I feel like 3 is a good number. But you know what, let's pause on adding anything new and just lock in the stuff we've got so far. So, of course, lock in his muzzle, lock in the smile line, the cheek, the nose, and then feel free to add any extra credit. Now, Goofy is a great example to what a comedian in animation should look like. For example, he's a very silly, goofy character, obviously. You can tell by probably looking at him. But his buck teeth are the ultimate marker. So buck teeth in animation mean that the character on screen is there to make you laugh or be laughed at. So knowing that, how many other characters can you name? Shout some out that have buck teeth.
Lola.
SpongeBob, that's a good one. Dale, yeah. Any more? Mater, that's a great one. Let's do one more. Chip, yeah, Chip and Dale, they have bug teeth, yeah, totally. Dory too comes to mind. Bugs Bunny, Roger Rabbit, all apply. But I feel like Goofy is like one of the bigger originators of that. So his bug teeth are going to take a lot of space. You can use the width of the cheek and bring down 2 lines. Like you're drawing little squares. Speaking of squares, his teeth kind of do look more like marshmallows than teeth at all. So I'm going to draw 2 lines, 4 altogether, and then connect them with the letter U. Now, the way that a character looks will tell you a lot about them. So on that note, we want the teeth to look more like marshmallows because you want to avoid too many sharp points on a good character. Because who do you think sharp points are then used for?
Villains.
Villains, yeah, the evils. So keep that in mind as well. All right. One other thing for Goofy is that he's got a very long chin. Another marker for that is confidence. Now, Goofy, I wouldn't categorize him with, like, say, Gaston. I feel like they're confident in different ways. But Goofy here, for sure, has confidence. So for this, I want you to use the cheek and draw very lightly through the muzzle. We're going to bring down 2 curves. I'll draw the one on the left first, and then I'll copy it on the right. Now, even though I'm drawing through his nose, his muzzle, and his teeth, I'm only going to keep the parts that's not already being covered up by something else. So in other words, I'll only lock in the lines below the teeth, lock in about a letter U's worth of his chin, and then he's got a big smile, and again, he needs it for how comedic he can be. But I'm just going to close his mouth by drawing in a little letter U right between the teeth, just so that his mouth is closed. All right, halfway in. How we doing out there? Pretty good. 2 people are doing good. Everyone else is catching up. We'll give you some time to catch up. Totally. For Goofy, though, he's actually a member of what we refer to in animation as the Sensational Six, meaning they are our 6 most classic Disney characters. So obviously Goofy is one of them. Who are the other 5 then? Shout them out.
Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy.
Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Pluto, right? And then Goofy, yeah. However, there are more characters that are even older than some of these. For example, this character that's older than Mickey Mouse by about a year who has very long ears. Who do you think that is?
Oswald.
Oswald, yeah. What about a character that's very large? He's like Mickey's rival. Pete, right? Yeah. What about Goofy's, one of his love interests? She's Clara Belcal, yeah, I didn't know. How many of you knew of her? But Clara Belcal, yeah, is another one. So the Disney timeline actually goes pretty far, even farther than these guys. Now, Goofy is a very silly character, so we want to jump to the top of our circle where the line's crossing. Drop down a little bit and draw in this curvy V. It's like you're drawing a little bird flying away, or a widow's peak. Right in the middle here. Now, with this new curve, we're drawing in his eyes, obviously, but I want you to go to the top of that letter V and essentially turn it into now a curvy M. And it's going to go right here next door to his cheek. So I'll do the same thing on the far right. Now, Pluto and Goofy share a lot of similar features. They're actually loosely based off of the same breed of dog. They're both hound dogs. But Pluto is a different kind of dog, right? Because Goofy drives cars while Pluto chases them. It's one of the bigger differences between them. But there's actually a term used to describe the kind of animal that Goofy is, and that's an anthropomorphic. Yeah, he's an anthropomorphic dog, where Pluto is your normal dog. Meaning that Goofy is more human-like, really, than dog. His pupils are going to sit right in the center, right between the heart shape. But for Goofy, maybe you want to switch it up. You want to draw hearts or stars in there, maybe little birds, because he's a little dizzy. He just maybe tripped on a banana peel, right? That's his thing. I'm going to draw one pupil pretty large in the middle almost. And then per his personality, maybe I'll shrink this one. Just to kind of keep it in the silliness of Goofy. Or maybe you want to draw this one bigger than the other one, right? It's up to you. But let's say you did draw a heart or a star or a little bird. Make sure that you fill in the eye. Make sure it's nice and dark. Darker than I'd say the nose too. We want those to stand out. Now, unlike Pluto, who has to be very serious at times, he does have a comedic side to him, of course, but Pluto's got an important job to do, right? He's got to protect Mickey Mouse. So he's got to see and hear trouble from far away. So Pluto actually has a separation between both of his eyes, but Goofy doesn't. He's got like one big eye. And Goofy's eyebrows connect from the same letter V. So it's almost like he's got a unibrow. So the same shape that you started with the eyes for Goofy, do the same thing for his brows. Except you're going to go only halfway down. You don't want to go all the way down. Kind of float there. Now in this view, it's kind of hard to see it, but Goofy and Pluto both have a very prominent little bump on their head. So Goofy, you'll just barely see it. So I'm just going to draw a little rainbow between the brows. And then our original circle, hey, is starting to fade away. You can barely see it now. We'll go back and lock it into place. Now throughout the years, Goofy has worn many hats. He's an amazing single dad. He's a chef. He's got his own candy company. He's a main character in the video game Kingdom Hearts, right? What's not to love about Goofy? The list goes on. So you can draw any kind of hat that you want. I'm going to go ahead and just flick the pencil 3 times to give him a little bit of hair here. Our Goofy, I feel like, looks more like the Goofy movie version. Yeah. Now his ears are going to stem from the side of his head off these little bumps. It looks like he's got headphones in or AirPods. They look like just C curves that sit up on top of the cheeks. But you can draw in his ears in any way that you want. Maybe you want them to be sticking up in the air. Maybe they're just off to the side. Maybe they're kind of like S-shaped to imply movement. For me though, chances are he's probably just sitting down or standing and looking straight ahead. I'm just going to draw in what I describe as like a teardrop, where I'm going to bring a curve through the muzzle and draw this letter J, or this hook, candy cane. And you want the bottom of the ear to be the widest. And then as it gets closer to the side of his head, it gets thinner and thinner. And then we'll do the same thing over here on this ear. Now Goofy made his premiere way back in 1932, and he was technically only a background character. He was technically only, the purpose for Goofy originally was that he was just supposed to be an annoying character in the background of the Mickey cartoon, that iconic laugh. That's what kind of got him started. Now, Walt Disney actually really enjoyed the way that Goofy was on screen, and he wanted to kind of evolve the character into what he is now known today. But originally, Goofy did look a little different, primarily the same. But his original name, was named Dippy Dog. Now, Goofy throughout the years, like Mickey and Minnie, go through many, many changes, but I'd like to show you how he used to look. We have a little card here, yeah. So the Goofy you just drew is how he looks today, essentially, and this is Goofy how he looked back then. So you can kind of see the similarities, but definitely some differences, right? Yeah, 1932, Mickey's Review. Alright, last but not least, find a good spot on your drawings and sign your sketches of Goofy. And then in the end, how'd you do out there? How'd these turn out? Pretty good? Okay, cool. I feel like we gained a lot of you there. Nice. Well, here's what I want to do. Quickly add in your last minute touches, but I want to see every Goofy in the room. Show off your sketches. And don't forget, take a look around and see how differently everybody draws. Are you ready? Here we go. On 3, boards up. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Goofy, nice job on these. The smiles, the big buck teeth. These look great. I love the teeth over here. It looks so funny. So the little tiny eyes. I love that. You guys got it all down. These look great. The confident chins, the ear, the chin over there too. In the middle of my paper and leave a little mark. This way I know where to start my circle. Now, not having an eraser means you got to draw very light, okay? If you make a mistake, that's okay. I'm going to make several myself.